All right, what is up? Today I wanted to answer the long asked question, what is the best shotgun I should be using? And there's been a lot of changes to shotguns recently, a lot of nerfs. They removed quick draw from aggressive frames. They changed the pellet spread, and then this season they nerfed sliding. So when you slide, you get that 12% increase to pellet spread, and it just makes them a lot more inconsistent to slide into a room and ape with. And when I got this roll, this shotgun, this high handling, basically max handling roll, because paired with surplus, this thing has quick draw pretty much. Like, you only need one ability up to have a full quick draw effect. But you make a lot of sacrifices in the range category to pull this off. So the gun basically starts performing the same as something like a Fractatus with quick draw opening shot. And this thing has quick draw on it. So there's it's just as good as the sudden death, but it also has opening shot. You're shooting at 10 RPM higher, and you're functioning at basically the same range. For like your one-shot kill. Maybe a sudden death is just edging it out by a little bit, but I don't think enough to warrant the 10 RPM decrease, because it just makes follow-up shots impossible. And I think the answer to the question of what is the best shotgun for you, it really comes down to what kind of playstyle you have. If you are still trying to ape, like whenever I do my shotgun videos, I just try and ape. I try to get a ton of kills with the shotgun because I want to get gameplay with the shotgun I'm using, but that type of playstyle isn't really possible anymore with something like an aggressive frame, because you ape in and you almost never one shot anymore. Like, obviously you can barrel stuff them, but you can barrel stuff with any other shotgun. Like, you don't need these aggressive frames to map anymore. I think where they thrive the best is hot swapping to them and just getting that very consistent one shot kill within like 6.5 meters. They always, or not always, but very consistently one shot, especially when you have full choke on. So if like that's your playstyle, you want a gun that you can swap too fast for defense and stop people aping you, these are the types of guns you want to go for. I think you could even drop surplus and put on maybe slide shot or something like that, or threat detector, and maybe even drop the range handling masterwork for range masterwork. And then warlocks, we can run Ophidian aspects, and hunters, titans, you can just drop 2 double shotgun dexterity mods on. And I think that'll pretty much be enough to make the gun feel like it has quick draw, because elemental capacitor with an arc super brings that handling all the way up to here. Without the masterwork, it's going to be around there where my mouse is pointing, and that's about, I think it's 76 handling without the handling masterwork. So a few shotgun dexterity mods are probably putting it around. I don't know how they function, if they actually add to that stat, but it'll get pretty close to feeling like it has quick draw. So yeah, if that's your playstyle, if you want to hot swap to your shotguns and use them defensively and feel like they're pretty consistent within a short range, then a sudden death is definitely the play for you. If you're kind of an ape though, I think you should start looking into 90 RPM shotties, because you're not one-shotting anymore. If you're sliding into a room, you're not going to hit that first one shot. The pellet spread gets too bad. Even if you're jumping into a room, it's really rare that you get these one-shots now. So it's definitely worth speccing into something with higher RPM that can 2-tap way faster than the lower RPMs. So something like a 90 RPM or 80 RPM with the Soul Mag is really, really valuable right now. Quick Draw Iron Reach on Reese Walker is fantastic. Obviously 7 Seraph, can roll Quick Draw Snapshot. Really, really good gun as well. These guns are very, very consistent at 2-tapping from within 10 meters. So you can get a pretty nice 2-tap. Precision frame shotguns are kind of the best of both worlds. They're pretty solid defensively, but they're going to be a little more inconsistent than, say, like a sudden death or something like Felonter's Found Verdict. And that might piss you off from time to time, but then those times where you say you're using Fractatus, the other guy's got a Felonter's on, you both shoot each other, neither you kill each other, you're going to get that faster follow-up shot and get the kill. So they definitely provide an advantage against aggressive frames, but that advantage is also present within stuff like the 90 RPMs. So I feel like precision frames are in a pretty bad spot right now. They're kind of overhyped. They don't really fill any role, and I think you should, depending on your playstyle, if you're trying to ape, go for 90 RPMs. If you're trying to be defensive, hot swap, go for a high handling aggressive frame. And then there's a huge problem now. They've nerfed pellet shotguns so much, they keep slapping them around season after season because people just like to ape. Now there's two guns actually, that have just completely risen above Chaperone and Duality. Chaperone is dominating right now. It is so much better than all the pellet shotguns in the game. The only thing holding it back is its ineffectiveness in the air. Like, if you jump in the air, it's very hard to hit headshots with. It's not hard. It's just it takes luck because like, the RNG just starts to fall apart because it doesn't have Icarus. But when you're down on the ground, that thing's killing from like 12 meters, 13 meters, double the range of like these shotguns now. There's a problem. Yeah, they'll have to look into Chaperone. So honestly, the answer to the question is, what is the best shotgun in the game? Probably Chaperone. If you want to use a shotgun right now, use Chaperone or use Duality, depending on what kind of primary you're running. If you want to run a primary in the kinetic slot, run Duality. Primary in energy slot, run Chaperone. If you don't like your exotic slot being taken up by a shotgun, if you like an exotic cannon and you want to use Warcliffe, that's when options like these come into play. I think a Sudden Death and Reese Walker are basically the top tier shotguns right now. Yeah, that's the end of the video. Peace.